Okay, let's do it. So there you go, the Adam Audio T8v. So this is the T8v studio monitor by Adam Audio. This is a two-way speaker, which means that we have a woofer at the bottom, which in this case is an 8-inch woofer. And we also have, the Adam Audio famous ribbon tweeter, which supposedly sound pretty good. These are budget studio monitors, so you can get a pair for less than $600 US, which is quite good. And Adam were kind enough to send me a pair for me to try out. And this is exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna mount them on my studio monitor stands, try them out for a few days, and I'm gonna get back to you in a few seconds. I am back 2 weeks later. I took the time to listen to these studio monitors, quite a lot, to be honest with you. I've mixed with them, did some mastering also. I've listened to a bunch of reference mixes that I know a lot. And I'm gonna have to tell you and be honest with you, I was quite impressed, especially at this price range. Now I want to make something clear. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not sponsored by Adam whatsoever. No money exchange was made between myself and Adam. They sent me a pair to try out and I'm free to say whatever I want in this video. Now these again are a two-way pair of studio monitors. We have, if we go through the specs briefly, we have the woofer, which is an 8-inch woofer, and on top we have that famous UART accelerated ribbon tweeter, which sound just amazing. These are powered with a Class D amp with a power RMS of 90 watts for a maximum peak SPL level of 118 dBs per pair. As far as frequency goes, they go down to 33 Hertz up to 25 kilohertz. And the crossover point is at 2.6 kilohertz, meaning that the subwoofer will go from 33 Hertz up to 2.6 kilohertz, and the tweeter will manage 2.6 kilohertz up to 25 kilohertz. They also have great dynamic range and transient response. Now, if we look at the speaker itself, it looks very modern, so the look is quite nice, and there's no LED light at the front of the speaker. That LED light, which is the power LED, is at the back of the speaker. Some will like that, some will not. I personally don't care much if I have a LED light at the front or at the back, so that is not an issue as far as I'm concerned. But we do end up with a very nice front out of this speaker. If we look at the back of the studio monitor, we have the power LED, the analog inputs, which is XLR input and RCA, and we have a range of basic controls and connectors that you find on most monitors at this price range, which are +2 or -2 dB of low frequency and high frequency shelving filters. And we have a volume knob to adjust the volume of the speaker, which can be practical. And also the porthole is at the back of the studio monitor. And this is something, when you're dealing with a monitor with the porthole at the back, you need to be careful not to get too close from the rear wall, the wall behind your speakers, So if you get too close, that will not give enough space for the porthole to breathe. But, on Adam's side, they say that at least 6 inches of space between the speaker and the rear wall is going to be enough for the porthole to breathe. Okay, so this is basically something you need to check out on your end. Now, as far as the sound goes, like I said, I took the time to try them out a lot, and I'm gonna have to say, sound is pretty good. We're dealing with an 8-inch woofer that helps to get better bass response, but I did not expect them to go that low. They say they can go down to 33 Hertz, and you know what? I'm pretty sure they do. Because honestly, I did not feel like I needed a sub to work with these monitors. They go that low, and you can actually starting to feel the low end frequencies, quite well, which is actually very surprising. especially at this price range. And beside the low end, the bass frequencies sound detailed and tight, which is quite nice. As far as the mid frequencies goes, mids sound clear. However, I can actually hear a bit of a pullback. But when it comes to the high mids, they're gonna start to sound a bit more present, especially after the crossover point of 2.6 kilohertz. But now, as far as the high frequencies goes, we're talking about the effect of the ribbon UART tweeter, which sound very good, to be honest with you. Like the highs will sound open, clear, bright, without being harsh, okay, which is quite nice. So you end up with a very clear top end and smooth at the same time, which is one of the main events out of these studio monitors. And it's surprising that Adam were able to incorporate that type of UART ribbon technology in this low price range for a studio monitor. Usually these ribbon tweeters are handmade and, you know, expensive to produce. So very cool thing that we have access to this high quality tweeter at this price range. Now, some of you are going to ask me, you know, so that's why I'm gonna talk to you about that right away, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the questions out in the comment section that, you know, how do you compare them to your Kali Audio IN8 studio monitors that I reviewed a few months ago. Now, the Kali Audio IN8 is a three-way studio monitor, meaning that we have a bass woofer, a mid-range woofer, and also a tweeter. So in a way, they're not the same, because the T8v is a two-way studio monitor compared to the IN8. However, you know, the price range is close enough to be able to make a comparison, like a fair comparison. But briefly, the main difference we'll get, because I know them both pretty well now, is that the Kali Audio IN8 is going to have a way more upfront mid-range. It's normal, it's a three-way studio monitor compared to the T8v, where the mid-range is a bit pulled back. However, the T8v will have a more tighter bass response, and the low end, you can actually feel it, which is pretty cool. And the top end on the T8v at this price range is like hard to beat, to be honest with you, just because of that UART ribbon technology, which is quite amazing. So this is the main difference between the two, just in case you're gonna ask. So there you go, check them out, Adam Audio T8v's studio monitors. You have my blessing. They sound pretty good, especially at this price range. And you can also look for, like, if you're working in a very small room, maybe those are going to be overkill. But you can also look at the other studio monitors they have in this series, which are the T7v and the T5v. So check them out. I'm going to leave the link down below. Leave me your comments, your questions, and until next time, take care and see you.